Hey, welcome back to Matter of Fact. Today I got for y'all the early playoff predictions. A couple weeks back, I did the way too early, around like week 10 or so, something like that. A couple differences in this version of it. I was getting ready to do this at some point, whether last week or this week, and I figured, I got the Kirk Cousins news. Michael Penix is starting. Dumbass contract that they gave Kirk Cousins. Clearly, they didn't know what they were doing right before the draft, but this isn't a Falcons video. It's just annoying. But I do think it bodes well for them. And I think they do play spoiler for some playoff teams. And you'll actually see some of these matchups and how interesting the shit could really get. But yeah, go check back on the last one. Last time I had the Commanders making the playoffs. You'll see why they don't make it here. And my Super Bowl was Ravens Lions. And I haven't really decided how that's going to go yet. I'm actually going to do this live with y'all. So where are we at? We at week 16, right? I'm not going to go through every matchup, just the key ones, the ones that matter. If you see on your left or right, whatever the mirrored thing is, but Bengals make the playoffs. I think they went out. I think is classic Bengals. I think the Bills did this last year where it was like, oh, the Bills might miss the playoffs. And then they just won out. And of course, they're in the playoffs or right in the mix of it. Super Bowl contenders through and through. And I think the Bengals, this part of the season is really about matchups. It's a war of attrition. Where these teams are mentally. Are they mentally still checked into the season? I don't like the fact that the Browns have mentioned Jameis Winston. I know Jerry Jeudy isn't happy about that. But Bengals take this. Chiefs, Pat Mahomes has a high ankle sprain, it seems. I think the Ravens get their lick back. It's just a division matchup, so I think they get their lick back, though. Colts take it. Bills, anything else important? This is really important right here. End of the season always has a lot of division matchups, and a lot of these divisions are super tight. I think the Jags take it direct. It doesn't matter. Why am I talking about that? Boom. What matters? This matters right here. I'm not impressed with what I've seen from Washington as of recent. Didn't cover against the Saints. I mean, that might be me being selfish because I took them to cover, but they could have easily lost that game. Can't be losing to the Saints, man. Can't be almost losing to the Saints, man. Be a playoff team a couple weeks away. What else? Vikings set the Seahawks. I think they're frauds. Bucks, pretty important for them to win that one. All right, where is it? All right, Devil Magic Bowl. I think the Steelers take this one. So another important thing: Bills, number 1 seed; Lions, number 1 seed. 3 teams from the NFC, 14-3. 2 teams in the AFC, 14-3. I don't think we have any 2-loss or 1-loss teams. But like I said, I think they went out. They have the little mini bye. They have the Broncos. It's a tough matchup. Broncos need this. Broncos missed the playoffs. I had them as a 7th seed in my last prediction. What else is important here? It's important for the Tankathon. Boom. A lot of these games. Now, this is probably the most important game for the NFC right here. I think Michael Penix is going to add such a boost this offseason. I saw a stat that outside of the tackle box, that the Falcons have like 3 completions, like outside of the pocket. I said tackle box. Outside of the pocket, 3 completions. Michael Penix, underrated athlete. Even when he was in relief for Kirk Cousins a couple weeks back, and it wasn't really a hospital ball, it looked like one. Guy got knocked. I forget who it was. But I mean, pretty deep ball. That's one of his biggest assets. You have Drake London there. You have Darnell Mooney. You have Kyle Pitts, Bijan in the backfield. I think he unlocks the true potential of this offense, really. I'm really high on it. I think he was one of the more NFL ready quarterbacks. So that's why I didn't like what they did. It felt like it was a last minute decision. They didn't know what they're doing with the 8th pick. You knew he was going to be there. He was 100% going to be there. You knew he was going to be there. But either way, they beat us and they beat the Commanders, a game that they really need. I think the Packers take this one against the Vikings. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Packers recently, and this is what it's all about. How do you finish? You finish in this December football strong, you make the playoffs. Bucks take care of business, and this one's interesting. I think the Cowboys, they're just in spoiler mode. I mean, this is a lost season, no Dak, but we've seen that from their defense and just special teams work. They're able to win games. Spoil the 1 seed for the Eagles. This game is pretty much for the 1 seed, or the rest of their games. They're looking for that 1 seed now that the Lions just lost to the Bills. Let's take that. Now, week 18. Week 18, super important, man. Super important, week 18. I think the Chiefs, I don't think they rest anybody. They're trying to get the 1 seed. I'm not sure how they do the tiebreakers for the 1 seed here, because could easily be now in the division. Obviously, if the Vikings and Lions end up both 14-3 head to head, I'm more familiar with that. Eagles, they're both tied. Eagles, Lions, Bills, Chiefs. That might be, little conference championship preview. We'll see. But yeah, Chiefs take care of business there. Bengals. Now the Steelers, it's funny, they end up 11-6. It just feels like what the Steelers really should be. They always have like a mid-season record where it's like, if let's say you were putting somebody on the football, they'd be like, oh, Steelers. So I've heard this Mike Tomlin guy, no losing record. They're 8-2. They're 10-2. And then they end up being 11-6. Could see it happening easily. Bengals have a lot to play for. Like I said, if Jameis was in, it changes a lot in the landscape of playoff seasons for me. Because even though he throws a lot of picks, makes a lot of mistakes, I do think that he wins certain games. I mean, some of the games they've won this year, I think they beat the Ravens early, which is, I don't see them sweeping the Ravens, right? They beat the Steelers. They split with the Steelers. So they could win some of these games. Now, week 18, not sure if you know this. It's pretty obvious if you're a fan of the league. But last week, all division matchups. So I have the Dolphins sweeping and almost make the playoffs. Respectable 8-9, missing Tua for about 5 weeks. I think the Rams going to run, man. I think the Rams going to run. And this division was tight for a while, but I can't trust the Cardinals, can't trust the Seahawks. I think Rams are there to just take it. They had their slump early in the season, and, they got right at the right time, I feel like. They're a bad beat for anyone. What else is important here? And the Cowboys play spoiler again, man. Yeah, it's little bro Washington, just DJ Jazzy Jeff, get out there. You're not making the playoffs. You thought you were making the playoffs. Like I said, I had them as a 7 seed last time. Maybe they show me something. But, we got some key division matchups. The Eagles, besides that Cowboys, now the Eagles could easily go 15-2 and be easily the 1 seed, right? But I don't know, man. These division games, like, I can't go by record, how the team's performing, and just give them the dub. Like, it's just not how this league works. It's why it's so exciting. But, yeah, Vikings, I think they take that last one against the Lions, make it more interesting for the division, tie it up. But I think in terms of how they're doing throughout the division, that division record gives them the 1 seed, and they win the division that way. Packers obviously make it. And the Eagles just have a nice little runway. If the Cowboys don't play spoiler in week 17 or week 16, I believe. No, I think it's week 17. So they have Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. They always beat my Giants. I'm such a homer. I was looking back at the video, and I think I had the Giants winning like 7 games back then. Ain't that shit crazy? Just that Giants bias, man. All right, but let's get to the playoffs. What you all came here for. Here's the seeding. Read it and weep. Not bad. Like it. All right. First matchup. Texans Steelers. All right, man. Like I said, I'm this is my first time seeing it. This is not like I predicted where everyone's going to be and whatnot. So give me a while to really think about it. I'm liking how now I had the over and like love lock last week, and part of the reason I thought Mike McDaniels and Tua and them boys would be able to exploit that Texans defense. They're playing a lot better recently, looking like they have one of the best corner duos with their rookie and Derek Stingley. Obviously, C.J. Stroud just came out and said that he wants him to play receiver because the way he could track the ball. He compared him to like Garrett Wilson or something like that. And I saw something that apparently he was promised the opportunity to play receiver in college. Didn't happen. So that'd be cool. Maybe a little Travis Hunter preview and just switch him out. Maybe not this season, but maybe next. But anyway, so assuming George Pickens is back. Speaking of, when is his return date? Injury. It's really important. All these injuries are super important. Yes, it's not too crazy. He's got a hammy. Hammy's pretty important for receivers, but I mean these are freaks we're talking about. But I don't know, man. This is tough. I got the Texans though. I just think C.J. Stroud, the worst of him is in the past. They just get it done, man. Just get it done. I don't really. It's a toss-up game. I would imagine. They're home in Houston. The line would probably be like -2.5 or something. I would imagine -2.5. Texans take it. And yeah, Russell Wilson just doesn't do enough. He just doesn't do enough. He throws about 2 or 3 picks. And this is not my anti-Russell Wilson bias. He's obviously been playing really well, but I think there's a ceiling on this team per usual. Ravens, Chargers, Harbaugh Bowl Part 2, right? That would be dope. NFL would love this one. Ravens, Chargers, good shit, Harbaugh. You had a great year, potentially coach of the year. Good shit with Herbert and whatnot. But I just don't have enough on offense, man. And I think the Ravens turn it on. They run the ball on y'all. And, it's all she wrote. Chiefs, Bengals. Whew. Hey, you're Kansas City. This is not what you want. High scoring game. Chiefs losing in the first round. I just don't see it, man. And obviously the Chiefs, the Bengals they do the thing against the Chiefs. Just historically, in this Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes era, they do their thing. But I just can't see it, man. I just can't bet against the Chiefs round one. They're just lucky to be here. I mean, it could easily they're tied up with the Broncos. Could easily be the Broncos if the Broncos were here taking the Chiefs. And I think they'd prefer to see the Broncos or potentially the Dolphins again, like they did last year. But yeah, give me the Chiefs. Now this side, oh my God, why am I doing this video right now? Man, this is fucking hard, man. All right, Rams, Vikings. Which version of the Rams do we see? They're on a heater, right? They just won the division, right? They're home. Minnesota doesn't have that home advantage. Sam Darnold, you give me Sean McVay and Matt Stafford, healthy offense. That D-line's playing vicious. Jared Verse looking like defensive rookie of the year. Shout out to him. Shout out to Florida State. But, yeah, man, I got the Rams, though. I just think Sam Darnold, we see some old Sam Darnold in there. The lights are too bright, and the Vikings just get kicked out of there. We've seen them in these spots a couple years ago against my Giants, Kirk Cousins, 13-3 team. Shit, this is what? I guess that's before they added the extra game, huh? So were they 13-3? That doesn't sound right. I just saw they won 13 games, man. Either way, regular season doesn't mean shit in the playoffs. Give me the playoff DNA that Sean McVay has. Matt Stafford, top 5 quarterback talent. You could easily, in terms of playing the position of quarterback, take out, the improvising of Josh Allen, Lamar. You could say he's a top 3 quarterback talent in the league still. Never really had a bad year. And yeah, all things considered, no injury. I mean, any injuries that pop up, we don't know. Prediction video. But yeah, give me the Rams. Bucks, Packers. Huh. Yeah, give me the Packers in this one. The Bucks could easily win this game. I mean, the Bucks are looking real good, but that's secondary. Now, I hope in the draft they stop taking D-line. They really need to address corner. Shout out to Antoine Winfield, but he needs somebody opposite of him. And it really shows with all the versatile weapons the Packers have on offense. Josh Jacobs has a major game despite Vita Vea being over there and Levante David. And the Packers, they come out the north representing. Lions awaiting, Vikings out. Tough. All right, Battle of the Birds. Battle of the Birds, give me the Eagles. Not much to say. Shout out to Penix, makes his playoff debut. Kirk Cousins, swag surfing by himself on the bench. But yeah, man, I just like the Eagles here. Not enough pressure on Jalen Hurts. No answers for Saquon. They just don't do enough. Now, assuming how I think this Falcons team will go, I don't think it will be as easy of a matchup as this is heavily predicated on Michael Penix balling out. The Falcons even being here. I mean, 2 teams from the NFC South. Nobody's really predicting this right now with how we're seeing the Falcons. So this is me being high on the Falcons. None of this makes sense if the Falcons aren't good because then Washington's in, they're out. A lot of things change, but yeah, I think in the last one it was Eagles, Washington. I had Washington moving forward. I'm trying to take my bias out, man. Trying to take my bias. I would love that for the Eagles, but now they weren't playing like this when I made the video. When Washington was, they were up, but at least I didn't have them winning the division. I wasn't that high on the Jaden Daniels train. Anyway, Ravens, Chiefs. Question here. Does Harbaugh and Lamar continue to run the ball with Derrick Henry? You feel inclined to, right? You don't just have Derrick Henry. It's not Gus Edwards and, J.K. Dobbins over there anymore. It's not Keontae Mitchell, which was he healthy at that time or was he hurt by that? I don't know. Either way, you got Derrick Henry, man. You got Derrick Henry. He's still in place to take the Russian title away from Saquon. I don't think it happens. I think it's still Saquon, but Derrick Henry's been playing real well along with the rest of the running backs who are making a nice resurgence. I hated how they were doing the running backs, despite being a Giants fan. What I was seeing with Saquon, I just at the end of the day, with all those teams between the Titans, the Raiders, and the Giants, they'd still be trash with these players, and they're in the right situation. And they're all accounted for, aren't they? Yep. Packers, Eagles, Ravens. Cool. Ravens, Chiefs. Ravens run the ball. Chiefs don't have enough. Give me the Ravens. Maybe I'm just being hopeful. I'm not one of those people that's like, okay, they are so dominant that I'm just really rooting for them to lose. I like dominance. No Diddy, I like when a team is able to do what the Chiefs are doing. I feel like it makes the league way more interesting and everybody has almost like a common enemy or, it's just something to root against. So I get it. I like it. I'm just not one of those people that's really that high on feeling that way. So it's not really influencing my decision at all. I just think the Ravens make up for what they did last time and they get a little extra further in the playoffs than they're used to. Give me the Bills against the Texans. Yeah, just Sean McDermott's just been here. He's been here. And I think, with some of these defensive head coaches, they don't take enough risks sometimes. And I just don't think they have the firepower to match with the monster that Josh Allen is. He's a weapon all in himself. And we're not getting the Neo Matrix CJ Stroud. They're lucky to be here themselves. They could have easily not made it to the divisional round the way I'm seeing it. And the way the Bills are playing, man, I think Josh Allen's just on a mission. Give me the Bills. Rams, Eagles. Man, I hate this video. Why am I doing this right now? Rams, Eagles. Rams, Eagles. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. That is tough. I mean, what we have to remember is Rams won a Super Bowl recently, man. Now, there's Aaron Donald's not walking through the door, but they did recently win a Super Bowl, and it was really OBJ and Robert Woods wasn't prime Robert Woods at the time, but you replace older OBJ with Puka. Why can't the Rams do it, man? Why can't the Rams do it? I think you put yourself in a situation where you have to duel it out with you got to duel it out with Matt Stafford and Jalen Hurts. He's obviously a franchise quarterback. He gets a lot of shit for all the rushing touchdowns from the BBL push and not being the best thrower of the football. But he's able to get those deep balls down to A.J. Brown, and that's great and all. The offense is way better like that. And then with Saquon there, it's tough to go against the Eagles. But, I mean, what do you guys like better? A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith or Puka and Cooper Kupp? I think you could argue Puka and Cooper Kupp. Now, I think what puts the Eagles offensively over the edge in terms of weapons is Saquon, but I think Matt Stafford is just that X factor. When he's on, man. The only thing that would scare me with picking the Rams are the pair of rookie corners that are balling out for the Eagles. But I think Sean McVay finds a way to scheme these boys up, and it doesn't matter. Shit. Are you locking them down, or you're trying your best to lock down Puka? I don't think you could really lock Puka down with how creative they get. Shit. Tutu Atwell just got busy, 70 yards. DeMarcus Robinson, 2 touchdowns. I can see it. Give me the Rams. And then Packers, Lions. Now, here's the problem with the Lions. They're super beat up right now. And no more Monty. He's out for the season. Liam McNeil, not in the middle of it. So it's going to make it a lot harder to stop Josh Jacobs. Carlton Davis, broke his jaw. He might be done for the season. I mean, you're just losing pieces on every level. And, yeah, they replaced Aiden Hutchinson with, I believe, Zadarius Smith, but he's still no Aiden Hutchinson. That's tough. The problem with this is we haven't seen the Lions, defeated Lions yet. So are they still good enough? Now, I think in terms of losing Monty, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, he's just like the cherry on top of having somebody like Gibbs. I mean, they kind of had a luxury with that. I think Gibbs gets unlocked, and it's great for them. But yeah, I think the voodoo just gets to the Lions, and I think we have 2 upsets here in the NFC. And yeah, it's bold, but I think the injuries, man, it's a war of attrition, and the Packers healthier, and it's tough. If the Packers are home, this would be a way easier pick with the Lions playing in that dome. So it's going to be a home game for them. But yeah, I like I don't love it, but I just think the injuries catch up with the Lions. Shit, the way they've been going for these past couple weeks, I'm low key, and I'm not doing this for any other team, but I'm assuming somebody's going next. Knock on wood, but some shit, the way shit's going. So whatever, give me the Packers though, man. All right, I don't like how this is going for real. Bills, Ravens. Man. Potential to be a highest rated, most watched AFC conference ever. This is a banger. I don't care if it's a low scoring game, still a banger. High scoring game, banger. Snow, banger. Rain, sleet. It's going to be tough. I honestly want to get to that one. Fuck it. We're not doing that. We're starting with the AFC. We're going to continue with the AFC. And these are the two MVP candidates, man. These are the two MVP candidates. This one's a coin flip. The Bills are home, though. But they both play in cold weather. Lamar can handle it. Really like how Sean McDermott's coaching up this defense. Let's try to get, we're getting close to the Super Bowl. Let's try to get some of these ads out of here. See, I'm from Maryland, so I would love for the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl. That'd be amazing. But something in my gut. Now, last time I had a Lions-Ravens Super Bowl, but from what I'm seeing from the Bills, man. Amari Cooper game. Called the Amari Cooper game. Ravens don't do enough. Josh Allen. It's like, give them some shine, man. The Ravens, y'all won a Super Bowl recently enough. Not super recent. Joe Flacco. Y'all not the Bills. Y'all beat my Giants in 2000. Bills, 4 Super Bowl losses consecutively in a row. They need something, man. Just the football gods look down on them, get them to a Super Bowl this year. Now, it really might be their year, given you're not getting a healthy Lions or Eagles. That might have been a better matchup. But let's get to the Rams-Packers. Now, between the Rams and Packers, it's Jordan Love against Stafford. Now, I might seem like just a major Matt Stafford fan from all of this, man. I might just seem like a major Matt Stafford fan. But I don't care. There's just something about him and McVay. There's something about Puka, Kyron, Cooper. I think it's an interesting game, though. But I'm going with the Rams. The Rams returned to the Super Bowl miraculously. Everyone counted them out, and they're back. Beat the Packers, NFC Conference Championship. Jordan Love gets in his Brett Favre bag. Those a little bit too many picks. I mean, toe-to-toe, Matt Stafford, best quarterback in the conference to me. Jared Goff, I think, is an MVP candidate, but let's be real, man. If you watch football and you know football, Matt Stafford's that boy, man. And I think you get him some of these spots, they make it happen. And then we have a Bills-Rams Super Bowl. Not what everyone's asking for. They're going to call this a Mickey Mouse run for the Bills. You can't really, though. They came out the AFC. But they're going to call it a Mickey Mouse championship because we just feel like the Bills are a better team. It's not the hardest matchup for them. Their hardest matchups were just now. But that's just kind of how it goes with the AFC and the NFC. Despite how dominant this NFC North has been, we don't have one of the Northerners in the Super Bowl. Give me the Bills. That's it. It was tough, but that's what happens, man. Book it. Bills-Rams Super Bowl. It's not the Super Bowl we asked for. It's the Super Bowl you got. Matter of fact, I'm going to do one last video once the playoffs start, obviously. And, yeah, man, Bills Mafia, bad guys take it because they're kind of the bad guys now. The fans are assholes. But, yeah, man, like to subscribe. We'll be back with Like, Love, Lock and just talk about what's going on around the league, man. Like to subscribe.